Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. This episode is brought to you by The Wellness Paradigm, a holistic health coaching company shifting the way that women understand and heal their bodies. Through bioenergetic testing, functional lab testing, nervous system work, and nutrition, we uncover what traditional approaches often overlook. So you can stop guessing, start healing, and finally feel like yourself again. No more one-size-fits-all protocols, just deep-rooted healing, real answers, and the clarity and confidence you deserve to feel incredible. It's time to shift the paradigm of women's health. Now on to our show. And good morning, Caroline.
Hi, Shannon. So nice to be here.
Yes, Caroline and I probably could have recorded an entire hour-long podcast episode before we even are hit record. This will be fun, maybe a little spicy, but we'll see where this takes us because Caroline is incredible. She has so much to offer, and she is a medical intuitive. She's a psychic. She's an energy healer, and she's been working with the body for over 25 years. And I think you can get into this philosophy of really just believing that anybody can heal, and kind of what that looks like. So let's dive in because I feel like to people that maybe aren't familiar with what these terms even are, I'd love to
Yeah.
go into a little more on what it means to be a medical intuitive, what it means to be a psychic, what it means to be an energy healer, how these are different. And if you
Yes.
want to get a little bit into how you even got into that work, I think it also is fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. So they are very different. So these are just my definitions. Okay. So how I see it, everybody is different. Okay. So a medical intuitive, in my view, is someone I'm a seer. So I literally, like through my mind's eye, pull my clients up in front of me or myself, because I work on myself, and I energetically scan the body from head to toe. And I'm able the body lights up for me. So if someone comes to me and they are complaining of different symptoms, I listen to them, but then I energetically scan the body for what is the root cause. And we can get into that because
Yeah.
I believe that you have to heal on 5 different levels in order to have full healing. And that looks different for everybody. We're unique. It's amazing. I love this work.
Hmm.
So as a medical intuitive, the physical body lights up. So organs, systems, cells. But as a psychic, I see the thoughts and the beliefs and the emotions that are stuck in the body. I can see the chakras, the energy centers of the body, the meridian lines, the energy bodies, the aura. I see all of that as a seer, but as a psychic. And so the liver's lighting up, but why? What's going on? And what is the frequency or vibration of the liver? Because as we all know, we're all energy. Everything is energy. Everything has a vibration. That's science. We don't even need to people still want to argue that, but it's fine. It's
Yeah.
science. And everything has a different vibration. And everything in the body has a different flow. So
Yep.
I'm looking at those flows. I'm looking at what is the liver doing. So as you do it with your lab tests, which is amazing. I feel like it's a great marriage of the two.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. I see it, and I see what the priority is. So they may come to me with a thyroid issue and I might immediately see something else.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone is different. So it's not like, there's a lot of books out there that say, if you have a backache, this is what it means. Maybe, but we're all different. And so I look at everybody uniquely. Everybody can have breast cancer and the cause can be different. It can be similar, but different because we all have had different lifetimes. So that's what I use my medical intuitive gifts for and my psychic gifts. As a healer, I'm able to move energetics. I'm able to bring in energetics. I'm able to remove energetics. And so they all work together beautifully in my own energy. I take my clients on healing journeys. I go into shadows and what is called the darkness, which is really just aspects of yourself that you don't want to look at. We want to look at those. We want to shine a light to them because nothing is bad or wrong, good or bad. It is what it is, and we want to understand it and bring it to light so that then you can make a conscious choice of whether or not you want to heal it, release it, up level it or not. So does that give you a good frame of kind of what I do?
Yeah, I love that and
Perfect.
breaking it
Okay.
down because I feel like, when sometimes people hear these words, they don't quite understand what they mean and
Yeah.
feel like it's also one of those things that you don't always need to understand, but you can feel the
Yeah.
power. I see that all
Right.
the time with bioresonance work when I'm talking about
Hmm.
frequency, and they're like, I just
Yes.
sent you a hair sample and you're able to get all of that information about my grandfather and my liver, my
Yeah.
thyroid, and that stuff's easy to understand when we talk about the
Yeah.
organs and the liver and the thyroid and the parasite
Mhm.
that everybody wants to talk about. That's the problem with their diet.
Right.
But
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, you don't always have to understand it, but you're like, wait a minute, I feel so much better.
Yeah. Well, and it's important, I think, to when I look at healing, like fully healing the body, I believe that everybody can do this. Now, will they? No,
Mm.
because it requires getting kind of uncomfortable. It requires looking at your life choices. It requires being radically mindful of your thoughts. And we have a lot of thoughts, especially us women. And if half of your thoughts are about how much you suck or how tired you are or how this or how you wish you weren't married or all of this, it is having an impact on your overall vibration, your
Yes.
overall energetics. And over time, your systems become weaker and it becomes, I look at healing the body at like disease, if we want to call it disease. I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose, but I work with energy and everything is energy. Okay. And when we look at a disease, whatever it is, I see it like this, and I feel like it's really empowering. Is I see it as it's not bad or wrong, good or bad, it's just information, and it's just a misalignment of energy. So if you want to be healthy, okay, whatever your optimal level of health is in this life, it looks different for everybody. Everybody's definition of health is different. But if, say, you want to be up here and you've got cancer, you've got Hashimoto's, you've got irritable bowel, these are not the same vibrations. It is a misalignment. That's all. That's all it is. And it takes the emotion out of it, I feel like. And it just says, oh, okay, so I'm misaligned. Okay, cool. What do I need to look at, understand, release, change physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically? Because I bring that energetic component to it. What can we do to align like a plug with the health that we desire? And then that's how I work with people, because everybody's different and everybody, healing is a journey, and everyone, you hear that like it's a healing journey. And that doesn't sound very sexy. It's in my world, people want like, just give me the energy healing and I'm going to be healed. Well, only when we're in a session, because I can hold the energetics and you can feel amazing in a session, but when you leave and you get cut off in traffic and you're like, you drop right back down because you're pissed off at your husband or whatever, life life is life, and you're not going to be able to hold that frequency or embody that frequency of health that you desire. So my work, I mean, I'll just tell you, I start at 3 month packages because energetically we can do things very quick, all that bippity boppity boo, right? Got my magic wand, we're working, and that's amazing, but your body, your human, needs to be able to hold it in
Mhm.
order for you to be it. And so that takes time. It takes as
Mm.
long, I always say it takes as long as it takes, because everybody's different. And some people are gung ho and some people, are a little slower. And it's perfect. It's perfect. So I love this work. I started as a massage therapist back in the day. I was in my early 20s and progressively started. So that was the physical body. And I was really into that. And then I started doing hypnosis, which was the mind. And oh, isn't it amazing? And aromatherapy. I'm certified in aromatherapy and crystals and all the good, all that fun stuff. And then I got into the energy healing part, and I started with Reiki, which seems to be the gateway energy modality that we
Yeah, for
all
sure.
seem to start in. And I'm not saying anything good or bad about it. It's somebody else's modality.
Hmm.
As Shannon and I were talking about before we got on the call, is one of my big lessons in my life, and I think it's a lot for everybody. So I think it might be helpful. Is really like owning and trusting your own power
Yeah.
and your own magic, if you will, within. And so I studied other people's modalities. I mean, I went off the charts. I've studied everything, and that doesn't matter. It just, I'm a curious person. I love to learn. I love to learn about the body and the mind and how it all interacts and the emotions and all that stuff. But when it comes to the energy healing, it was really important for me to not be using other people's modalities anymore, only because it was taking away from it wasn't mine. And that's one thing that this year, we're getting off topic, but universal energies of this year are really asking us to call back our power from everywhere we've given it away. And if you think about, like, most people, we were talking before, most people are in their minds because we're busy. We're moms and we're, wives and all these things. And we're busy and we're building our careers. And a lot of that's mental work. And we ignore our body and the universal energy. So the energies that are all around us as a collective are really asking us in 2026 to call back our power, to be in this now moment, not thinking about yesterday, not thinking about what we're doing later. I mean, that's if we're too far in the past, we're going to be depressed. If we're too far in the future, we're going to have anxiety. Being in the moment, being in the present moment, in your body, feeling your body, getting information, trusting what your body's telling you is the way forward. Our medical system is broken. I don't know if you know this. And
Something to talk about.
I see more and more people that have these weird, rare
Oh, yeah.
health issues. And
Yep.
unfortunately, not to be the bearer of bad news, but it feels to me when I look at the energetics as the psychic that I am, it's going to become more and more. And unfortunately, our health system is
Yep.
about treating symptoms and not even that well. In my opinion, this is my opinion, and people are walking away really frustrated and not getting the answers they need. And so I feel like our work is so important because people they're getting desperate. They don't understand. They want to feel better. And one
Yep.
of the first things you can do is to connect with your body. I am a huge proponent, and I touch myself when I do that because it really does bring you out of your head into your heart, into your body. And I mean, we can even do this as a little exercise if you want, if we have time, but just really coming back to your body so that you can feel your body. And unfortunately, your body's always talking to you. Whether or not you're listening is a whole other subject. And even if you're listening, I did a post on Facebook this morning. Even if you're listening, are you actually giving your body the thing it's asking for? If your body is like, I need rest, and you're go, 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 you're not listening. So then you're not building, your body doesn't trust you, and then you don't trust your body, and then you have this like tug of war within you. We don't need to be doing that. We need to come back to our power, call it back so that we can be. Here's the thing, the world needs you. No matter what you're doing in the world, no matter how big, how small your impact is, it's important. And you cannot show up powerfully if you feel like junk, if you're exhausted, if you're sick. You can't. So put your mask on first and then go out in the world and have that ripple effect, because if you're taking great care of yourself, I mean, you're a mom of two small kids. When you're exhausted, everybody feels it, right? It's like that saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I mean, there is truth to that, and
Yep.
everybody can feel it. But when you are in that place and you're taking care of yourself and you're holding strong boundaries and you're doing what you need to do, self-care. And when I say self-care, I mean, yeah, do the massages and stuff like that. But to me, self-care is like having the boundaries,
Yep.
saying no, putting your needs like first and foremost, feeding yourself,
Yep.
making sure you're nourished so that you can, unfortunately, that's not, it's called selfish, and you're being selfish. And it's like, no, no, actually I'm not. My body is telling me I need to do these things. And if we all just did these things, I don't know, I think it'd be a better world.
I mean, it's so true. I mean, I could have said that entire thing myself. I mean, just
Yeah.
so in alignment because it's people are sick and they're frustrated because they think they're doing
Yeah.
all of the right things, right?
Yeah.
They think by going to the, doctors, not saying you don't do that, right? Do your due
Right.
diligence, but it's like thinking that somebody else is going to have the answer.
Yeah.
And then it's just this horrible frustration loop when they don't. You try to seek someone that you think does have the answer, and then you don't feel better. And then we don't want to take personal accountability for maybe some things that are actually driving this
Mm-hmm.
dis-ease in the body, right? And then we start just identifying with the fact that we're broken, nothing will help.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
just loops and loops until it
Yeah.
manifests into something potentially worse, or we just feel like crap all of the
Yeah.
time, you know?
Yeah. And then we say, ah, screw it. And then,
And then we start making excuses. I'm just a
yeah.
mom. I'm just a
Yeah.
business owner. This is how it
Yeah.
is. No,
Yeah.
girl, it's not how it is. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and it's again, it's that empowerment piece of really um, like owning your worth and trusting in yourself. Like, there's so much that comes
yeah,
back to like accepting yourself and loving yourself, and it's not sexy. You know what I mean? That's not
yep,
sexy. I'd rather sell you a supplement.
100%. I deal with this all the time.
Oh,
Mhm.
so do I. Uh, or coming to an energy healer and expecting them to fix you. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're not broken. And second of all, I can't want it more than you do. So,
Oh,
the, you know,
yep.
so we were chatting before and we were talking about spirit guides, and everybody has spirit guides, angels, all the things. Okay.
Mhm.
And one of my guides told me a couple years ago, and I always remember this, and it was for me. It was for me because I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'm still a human in a body. I'm having an experience. I'm a soul in a body having a human experience. And they said you need to be radically mindful of your thoughts at all times. I mean, how many trillions of thoughts do we have during the day? And like, to be able to like catch yourself when you're not thinking like a great, now it's not about bypassing, it's about feeling what you feel. Okay, so we're not talking about spiritual bypassing and love and light and all that. It's not that, but like being really like really aware of where your mind goes, because your thoughts and what you say and what you think and what you do, these are the only things we can control. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of power. We have a lot of control in our own lives. And we don't think that we do because we've been taught from a very young age by the powers that be that we don't know our own body, that, you need to listen to me. I have all your answers. Whereas that's not the case. I will tell you a little story. It's kind of funny. Is I knew I was pregnant before the test showed up that I was pregnant. And the doctor was arguing with me that I wasn't pregnant. And I was like, I know I'm pregnant. And so I left because the test said I wasn't pregnant. And I went back a couple of weeks later and I was pregnant because I knew I was in touch with my body. I was told that I could take Tylenol when I had a headache when I was pregnant. And I was like, I can't take Tylenol. They said, yes, you can. And I said, no, I really can't take it. It doesn't, my body doesn't like it. It makes me feel really nauseous. And they're like, well, that's the only thing you can take. You can take it. It's safe. And I was like, you're not listening to me. And I think so that's just a small scale of how, and I think people have just sort of been taught that you take what the doctor gives you and your symptoms go away. And we think that that's healing. And that's not, in my view, that's not true healing. That's managing symptoms. And a lot, we see it online all the time, like a parasite is the root cause of your physical symptoms. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
Uh,
that. I think that's one
either.
component.
Yeah.
And, it's one component. You might have some parasites going on, but I like to say, okay, well, why am I a vibrational match for the parasites?
Yep. Totally.
And people look at you like, what?
Oh,
And
highlight.
that's fine. It's fine. I mean, those aren't my people. The people that are really looking to go deep,
Yep.
into their limiting beliefs. And and this is stuff that we've carried from a very young age, if not before, like if you believe in past lives. But my thought about past lives is this: if it is trauma, big, small, because trauma can be real or perceived, big or small, it doesn't matter. If it's affecting your body, it's affecting your body. I don't care. And if you have a past life issue that is, you're still dealing with it and your soul came into this body wanting to like resolve that, it's going to show up in this lifetime at a young age. And so some of my work, not all of it, it takes us back into a younger version of yourself. And I do beautiful healing journeys where we invite that younger you into the room. I hold the energetic so that you can see what you need to see and understand what you need to understand so that the healing can begin. That doesn't heal you. We still have work to do. And so there's there's a misconception about what it means to go to an energy healer, I think, as if like I'm just going to go like this and I'm going to remove this entity that's causing all of your problems, because we bypass in the spiritual community too. I mean, we love to bypass. So that's not what I do. It's not a quick fix. I kind of feel like there's no such thing as a quick fix, because that's not empowering for you either. I want you to call back your power so that your vibration is up here and that's your new level of health so that you can go and do fun things. Cause I also don't believe that we should be in this healing loop all the
Oh,
time, because
yes,
that becomes
totally.
an excuse as well not to
Mhm.
move forward.
Totally.
So there's so many moving parts and it's so fascinating and I just love it. I just love it.
Oh, there's so many nuggets in that as far as just, what is really, I want to tap on something because we talk about this a lot, especially in the health world, right? The root cause. The
Mhm.
root cause is my parasite. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I see this a lot with clients, it's like, yeah, that is very physical. That is very physical and it's
Mhm.
affecting you. You are having physical symptoms of that. But
Yeah.
it's like, people come to me, I'm same to you. It's like, fix me. This one scan will, for me, it's bioresonance work. For you, it's a
Yeah.
different, intuitive scans, but it's like, this is my saving grace. This is the answer. And it's like,
Hmm.
we can start giving you the answers. But if you keep
Yeah.
looking for the problem, you will find a problem, right?
Oh,
And
amen. You can always find something to heal, y'all.
yep.
Always.
And then it's this chronic loop of things that are like
Yeah.
constantly needing to be fixed, which, sometimes healing journeys do take a long time. Like,
Hmm.
let's be real about that. But it's not forever. And it feels like forever when you've been in it, where you're just like, what's
Yeah.
the next thing? What's the next thing? And it's almost like you're keeping this body stuck because you're
Hmm.
always looking for something to go wrong. And it's a trauma response, right? I get it.
Hmm.
So I'd be
Yeah.
curious on how you work with that because, for me, I'm doing scanning, we are doing imprinting, we're doing certain supplements, we're doing certain modalities, but
Hmm.
I find the ones that keep having problems, it's hard to break that loop.
Yeah.
And you don't want to take that responsibility that you're the problem because that sounds really mean and kind of
Right.
shitty. But you know what I mean? But at some
You're the
point,
problem.
like there is
No.
other,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you reframe that? How do you work with clients on that?
Well, it would depend on the client, but what happens when I see this, because it is natural that because people are, first of all, you can ask them if you can, right? If it, depending on the client, there's always a payoff. And people don't want to look at that. Like, what does not being able to do things because of your dis-ease, what is the payoff there? So that is an amazing journal prompt that people don't
Mm.
like, but they like, if they're open to it. Because, so that's one. I'll just put that one there. There's always a payoff for what's going on in our body physically. Again, we're not blaming. People berate themselves all day long. We don't need to do any more of that. I consider myself a cheerleader, but I'm going to do you a disservice if I'm not being honest with you. Okay, so that's number one. The other thing I do a lot is I start looking at the shadows. And I don't know if you've heard that, like looking at your shadows. And to me, it's people love to decipher them all and give them all names. I don't care what the name is. I want results. And I don't need to do all this fluffy language about it. I want what is your root cause? What is holding you back from healing your body? That is what I want to know. And I'm curious, and we're going to dig in. But what I can tell you is a lot of times we end up looking at self-saboteur, our self-saboteur, because your shadows are just wounded parts of yourself that are trying to keep you safe. It's just like your ego. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying, and here's your comfort zone. Here's your comfort zone. And you're healing. I'm on a healing journey, and that feels amazing for about 2 days. And then it's like, oh shit. And our mind just gets so, and that's neural pathways. I mean, that is your brain trying to keep you safe, and your self-saboteur is just trying to keep you safe. So it could be your inner victim, it could be your inner martyr. And the sky's the limit, because you can be there's wounded healers walking around to this day, walking around trying to heal everybody. It's like, whoa, I didn't ask, what are you doing? So finding that wounded part of you that doesn't feel safe to heal. So then this is where I bring in nervous system work, because if you don't trust your body and it doesn't feel safe, we really want to work on having that energy come in to hold you. I set up energetic grids and structure. I do all kinds of cool stuff to really hold the energy so that your nervous system doesn't spaz out anytime you're like you're uncovering these beliefs that you've been holding that aren't true anymore. And they're really holding you down from shining. We also need to look at your story. Like, people get really attached to their diagnosis. And I'm not saying that that's bad or good. I mean, because sometimes if you have no idea what's going on and then someone gives you a diagnosis, it can be like a light bulb.
Yep.
But
100%.
like with all things, if you become too identified as it, then it's going to be harder to break. And then sometimes people just aren't ready. They're just
Yep.
not ready. And this is where, as the healer, if you will, we need to like recognize like this isn't going anywhere. And at this point, we're wasting your time and your money. And, here are some things I want you to do. And you send them on their way. It is okay to do that, or to refer people out if it's just not fitting. But I hate it because I see people that give up and they go from healer to healer to healer to
Yep.
healer and never see results. I mean,
Yep.
that's kind of the definition of insanity. I'm
Hmm.
just saying.
Hmm.
So that's several different ways, and it just depends on the person. It depends on what kind of relationship I have with them. But I don't want to take someone's money if they're not doing the work, and they're not really hearing it, and it just isn't a good time for them. Maybe, people, it takes as long as it takes. So does that answer your
Hmm.
question?
Oh, we could just go on so many tangents here.
I could.
Um, but it's true. I mean, I see that in my work too. It's like, I'll ask, how many coaches have you had? Have you ever worked with a coach before? Yes, I've done it all. I've done it. And
Oh,
I'm like, ooh, if I'm going to be
yeah.
a fifth coach, it's not going to be the bioresonance that's really suddenly going to heal you. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we almost need a break from
Hmm.
trying to fix, right? I've
Yeah.
turned people away when I'm on a call. I'm
Hmm.
like, I love this for you, but give your body just a break. Let it breathe for a hot second before we
Yeah.
jump into more protocols that's keeping your body
Yeah.
stressed out, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
And it
anyway,
becomes almost an addiction to the different too, as well. Like, because
yeah,
it's like, gotta do, gotta do, gotta do, instead of just like being, just be with your body, just
yeah,
be. Yeah. How
yeah.
often are we doing that? I mean, it's tough in this day and age with all the social media. I mean, it's wonderful and it's awful at the same time.
Oh, I go every day. I'm like, I want to be off this platform completely, but this is my
Oh,
business. To
I
I want to put
know.
up more content because I want people to understand. To
Hmm.
being like, nope, I'm just not going to say anything. It's a fun side of
Yeah.
being on online entrepreneur. Um,
It's a
but
trip.
it really is. I feel like there's no real better word than like it's kind of a mind fuck sometimes.
A little bit,
You know,
and my work is all virtual. So, I
I
work,
too.
and that some people, now, not people that come to me, but, I've had people like, how do you do that? And I'm like, it's energy. It's
Oh my
energy,
God.
man.
See, I'm going to say this on a podcast, even though I don't say it often on podcasts because that's so hard to describe energy. And like with bioresonance, one of the reasons I was attracted to
Hmm.
it was it gives people what they want, a little bit more data, something hard that they can grasp on,
Hmm.
right? And I have clients send me hair, nail, or saliva samples that I run through my equipment, but I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, I need date of birth, I need to understand
Hmm.
their name and, stuff like that. But it does tap it, when I work with my family, when I work with it, I'm just running scan. I'm not having them do samples all the time. Now for clients, I do because they need that physical something to grasp onto, you know,
Hmm.
because energy is just too out there. And then it's almost like if I bring something up, they don't want to believe it if they didn't have that physical thing like their hair that's linking back to them. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's, for me, I'm like that middle ground between like, functional, like functional lab people, like where I was,
Hmm.
and then like energy healers. I'm kind of like this bridge
Yeah.
between like the 5D and the 3D. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. People
but
like that, yeah,
something tangible. So it's
something
hard
tangible.
because, what you do is so powerful. But then when it doesn't
Yes.
work, it's the modality, not the person almost.
Right. Yeah. And that's something as a healer I learned early on, that especially with my own like husband and my own kids is sometimes just because I am a healer doesn't mean I'm supposed to be healing everybody. So
Oh,
that's the first thing.
yep.
Because here's the thing, people have their own, I don't want to disempower people by taking away saying I can fix you, I can heal you.
Yeah.
That's energetically saying I don't believe you can do it. It's super disempowering. So, as a healer, I guide, I support, I bring in the energetics. You're the one doing the healing. Like I said, I can't want it more than you. And also being okay with people taking, making different choices and not listening to my guidance or not even asking for my guidance. My family's the worst. They don't ask. And that took me a minute because I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'm a healer and don't you know? And it's like, get over
Yeah.
your ego. Come on.
Our ego.
They don't want it. And that's
Same
cool.
way.
And so, yeah, just letting it go. And when I work with clients, that is something, see, the wounded healer says I have to fix them. I have to show them how they're not even asking for my opinion, but boy, I'm going to give it. This is what I see when I look at you. And I'm like, first of all, I didn't ask you. So, and people do that all the time and they think they're
Yes,
being helpful. And
I
it's like,
know.
oh, that's so sweet. And I'm like, no, that's actually a wounded healer. An empowered healer waits for someone to ask them. And even still, if they're not a client, okay, and they're not, or a friend, because I'll answer a friend, but I don't just go around giving, my psychic predictions to everybody because that's not in alignment for me and my work.
Yep.
And I have found, I don't know about you, but I have found that when people have to, there's an energetic exchange. Okay, we're going to
100%.
call it money because that's how I buy groceries.
Yep.
People show up more for themselves
Uh,
than like a
yep.
free reading. How many
Yep.
times have you had a free reading and then you're like, well, that was nice. And then you go on and ask for the next one.
Yep. Oh, I
So,
just had this conversation, like not even a few hours.
yeah.
I feel like this year intuitiveness, probably because like we're hitting on things that have just been talked about in my world. But I had
Mhm.
somebody that asked a very close family friend. My parent had asked if I could work on him. Love that they believe in this stuff too, because it was a trip trying to
Yeah.
get them, to even like buy in. But then they saw the results. They're like, there's something to it. Um, but
Imagine that.
there was, he's very, very sick, cancer in remission
Mhm.
technically, but, and he's having some side effects. And somebody in my family had said, can you work on him, he didn't necessarily ask for free, but kind of, it was implied, or much less of a degree of
Mhm.
charge. And I said, it's not about the money. First of all,
Yeah.
this does take me a long time. When I'm doing scans, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per client. It's not like I'm just like one and done. But I was like, it is the exchange of energy. I was like, you
Yeah.
have to be bought in because if I do this, if I spend the time and the energy doing it, I want it to work and I want
Hmm.
them to feel like they want to be helped versus you trying to help them me
Yeah.
trying to help them, and then
Hmm.
it falls flat 99% of the time. And
Yeah.
I'm so maybe that I'm the wounded healer because I'm like, let me help everybody. But but I've realized over the years, like it's not necessarily the money. Money is nice, sure, but it's like
Yeah.
you have to be bought into the process
Yeah.
and to wanting to change. And if that includes a money exchange, I made a joke to this person. I said, pay me and I will refund it after you do you do the
Right.
work. I'm not going to do that, obviously, because but it's like I can't want it more than you because it's going to
Yeah.
be
Oh,
amazing. You're going to say, "Wow, this is so cool. This is my answers," and then nothing will happen after that,
right.
and you'll blame it on this didn't work.
Right. This didn't work. Yeah, I've had someone reach out. Well, it was my sister. I'll just be honest. My sister, and she wanted me to work on her daughter, who is an
Yeah.
adult. Okay, so it's not like she's a child, she's an adult.
Oh,
And I said I would be happy to talk to her, but she needs to reach out to me because I'm
I love
not
that too.
working on someone without, first of all, I never work on someone without their permission.
Yep.
I don't care who it is, I'm not doing it. And secondly, I always check in, is this something I'm supposed to be helping with? Because sometimes it is a life lesson that someone is going through, or they've manifested it because of choices and they aren't ready. Like if I took
Yeah.
away their pain or I healed them, they wouldn't learn the lesson that they
Mm,
need to learn. And so something worse would happen because I
mm,
disempowered them by taking that lesson away from them. So that is
mm,
a tough one, especially
mm.
when it's someone that you love and you don't
Yeah.
want them to suffer. But I also don't want anybody to like have a worse lesson because I took away their power. And so
Mm,
there's so many different layers. When people come to me, they come to me of their free will, and then we go from there.
mm.
Um, but yeah, it's where you trust your connection. Like I trust my connection with my guides. I trust my connection with, am I supposed to help them? How am I supposed how can I be of service that is in the highest good of all? I always work in highest good, not just I want to fix you, but what's the highest good? Because there might be something that they need to experience, and that maybe their soul chose this experience. And I don't want to I'm not taking away what your soul wants. I'm just here to support you when you're ready. How you're ready, in ever what way I can help you. I mean, I'm really here about, yeah, I want to make money. I have a business. Yeah. I mean, and don't even get me started on the people that want you to give it away for free because it's a gift. We could go there too. I have
Yep.
many thoughts about that. We don't need to do
Mhm.
that. I'm
Yep.
like, are you saying that of celebrities and athletes? Because they make more than I do. I'm just saying.
Yep.
But
Mhm.
it's still that's a like a belief, a collective belief that a lot of people still hold. Like it's
Mhm.
your gift, you should do it for free. And the other thing I see a lot, and I don't do this, is people will assume that I'm reading their energy because I'm having a conversation with them, and I'm like, I promise you, I am not. I promise you. Not reading your energy. I mean, everybody reads energy. If you walk into a room and you can sense the energy
Yeah.
of the room, that's intuition. Your intuition's like, what happened? Like something's going on here. And that's natural and normal. But I don't go in and be like, oh, look at her. Oh, you may want to check your chakras. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Well, that's great because you're probably like, well, this girl got a lot of chocolate. She got a,
Energy moves all the time. That's the thing too, is energy
true.
is not the only thing that you can rely on is that energy moves all the time.
Oh,
So yeah.
Caroline, with bioresonance work, this is so
Yeah.
tough because
Yeah.
I am testing energy in real time. So, like
Yeah.
the client that was traveling a lot, EMS were lighting up
Yeah.
like a red flag, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, were you traveling
Yeah.
or was this actually a thing? But it's like I could test you the next day and it could be different. But
Hmm.
people want,
Yeah.
I was here and now I'm here, like a lab.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. But see, even lab tests aren't as accurate as
oh, of
like
course
blood
not.
work and stuff. It's just not. People think they're really accurate and they're not. It's a snapshot.
They're not, but it's
Yeah.
tangible,
I know.
versus like,
Yeah.
for both of us, it's peeling away layers of an onion. It's not
Yes.
just I'm here and then I'm here. So when people want to retest and they're like, I just want to see where I'm at compared to my first, I'm like, but we might uncover more. And that's
Yeah.
not a bad thing. Your body wasn't
Yeah.
ready to address it then. Now it is,
Exactly.
but it can
Right.
look like I'm digressing, And
Yeah.
it's like, no, no, no. It's just we're
Yeah.
unpacking different layers, you know?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Which is the trip coming from the functional lab world, where it was like, I
Hmm.
did this test, a stool test, and now look, everything's clear,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so
And
that,
and yeah, and just a lot of throwing supplements on a toxic body and expecting them to
uh,
work. And I'm like, oh, maybe don't.
that's so hard. I have one of those
Maybe don't.
today. Luckily, this is not coming up for
Uh,
a few months, so they won't know who it is, but it's reading the room. I know the second I met
yeah.
her, this is a stress. Your adrenals. You don't slow
Yeah.
down. You don't think you're stress.
Yeah.
High functioning perfectionism. Overriding. And I love that I was that person too. But it's like, when I'm looking through her bioresonance stuff, I'm like, how deep can I go? For right now, it's surface level. I'm gonna do the supplements because that's where her
Yeah.
body's at right now. And that's okay because she's gonna see progress and she's
Yeah.
gonna feel better. But it's gonna be the same loop. It's gonna feel better for a
Yeah.
bit and then it's gonna come back. And like it's not me trying to get more money out of you with saying you need
Hmm.
more work or new more scans or whatever it looks. It's like I'm going to meet you where you're at right now, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then down the road, as we unpack more things, like you might be ready to go deeper. And that deeper might be in a gut
Yeah.
protocol, but it might also be on the nervous system work. But like, I can't force that,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm
Um,
a huge fan of listening to my body and asking what supplements do you need today? Because, we've also been trained by the supplement community because that's big business, y'all. It's huge business
yep.
and it's not super regulated either. And, to take this and you have to take it, 18 times a day on this and da 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 da. And I'm like, my body might not need that today. Now it might. And there are certain supplements I take every day because my body needs it. But I might not need all 50 of them, right?
Yeah.
And do I really want to throw that on my liver? Because our liver, y'all, everybody's liver needs work. I'm just saying, if you're on this
Everybody.
planet, your liver needs work. And whether that's I am a huge proponent of energetic work of the liver, but also, like maybe we don't throw so many toxins in our body. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Just saying.
But I
Yep.
mean, I remember my kids were little and I went to a chiropractor and I really liked him as a chiropractor and he did muscle testing and I would leave his office with like a bag of supplements.
Yes.
And not only was that really expensive, but at one point I was like, I can't possibly be utilizing all of these supplements. Like there are
Uh,
way too many. And I stopped seeing him as a result because and he I would wait like an hour for my appointment. And I'm sorry, when you have kids, you just can't do that. But
no.
it's like it got me thinking, it's like even in the natural holistic
Oh,
world,
yes.
we're overdoing it with supplements. It's like no wonder people just go to the doctor because at least that's just one pill a day. I mean, ugh,
Uh,
I don't blame them. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but I can
oh,
see how people would.
literally. I mean, the functional
Yeah.
health world has become the medical world just with supplements instead of medication.
Yeah.
And it's pushed
Oof.
too far. And and I get it. I was talking to somebody with thyroid. I mean, why not pop a little levothyroxine? Why
Yeah.
have to do all of these other supplements when they were feeling quotation fine? Like,
Yeah.
and it's a tough one,
Yeah.
also meeting clients where they're at. And that's, with bioresonance, I'm testing the body what it needs physically for
Hmm.
supplementation. Sometimes, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, for certain clients on their healing journey, if they have a lot of toxicity, like we do need to have a short-term bout of supplements, and that's okay. It's when people
Yeah.
are on the next protocol, the next protocol, the next protocol, the next
Hmm.
protocol. It's yes, it's expensive for one, but it again keeps the body a little bit stuck. And I
Yeah.
had a client get mad at me because she wanted more supplements. And I was like, why? And literally, she needed an adrenal test, which I don't do cortisol tests anymore, but it was flatlined, no shock. I could have told you that, but she needed that data, fine. And she just kept wanting more and more and more. And I was like, don't you realize this is driving this problem?
Yeah.
I can't out supplement your cortisol manager supplement and your adaptogens to just keep taking more and more. So we're bypassing
Right.
you. And she's like, well, sometimes people need it. Yes, yes. And we've been at this for a year. Do you really think
Hmm.
that we have a supplement deficiency at this point? Maybe at the beginning when we were really working on the
Right.
gut and the
Yeah.
hormones and getting them on track, maybe, yes. But
Yeah.
something interesting with my scanner is, things are going to show up and sometimes I don't understand them. I'm like, but this I thought would be the problem. why is there not something or supplement? And so then I can keep
Hmm.
testing and I can test supplements, which I don't do for clients. I won't tell them that I can do this because
They
then,
know now.
well, right, right.
You just told them.
But the problem is if I keep testing supplements, things can
Yeah.
turn green on the system that it does resonate okay. But then
Yeah.
I'm throwing more and more and more at you when it was like that wasn't intuitively what the body needed. Could
Yeah.
it help? Yes. Right. But is it really what's the root of the issue? Also, probably not.
Well, and also like certain brands might be better for people's bodies, and
100%.
liquid might be better than, and herbs might be better than homeopathy. I mean, there's so
100%.
it just, yeah,
You'll
it can
find this
go.
interesting because
Hmm.
when I test supplements, I have a whole supplement scan, right? And clients don't always understand this, but usually they trust me if they're hiring me. But I'm imprinting the frequency of the supplements into a tincture for them. So they are
Hmm.
taking the frequency of the supplements, but they don't need the physical of everything, right?
Yeah.
You know, for most of my clients, they're physically taking 3 to 6 usually. Depends on the client, right? And but there are certain supplement companies, like I have multiple companies. The scan takes a while, right? And it's always fun to see. Like I had a client yesterday who is
Yeah.
not into the energy world at all, but her body kept resonating with all my more energy supplement companies. They were all homeopathy, different energetics. I was like,
That's
adrenals are a
awesome.
huge thing. I didn't necessarily like. I
Yeah.
kind of briefly tapped her into it. Versus other clients, they resonate with a lot of certain supplement companies that are just more, I don't want to say normal, but more normal.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. It's not a good or a bad or, it is
Yeah.
what it is. It's just interesting, at least to
It's
me.
fascinating because we're so unique, and we need to treat people that way, and look at everyone as unique and unique experiences and unique needs, and it can change. Because I also see people get on a supplement regime or any regime, even like we could talk about working out, and it's like,
Yes.
well, I lift weights and this is what I do, or I run and I do Pilates, and it's like, well, maybe today you don't need, maybe your body needs you to not do that today, maybe your body needs this. And I find in my work, one of the biggest things that I work with at the beginning, at least, and probably throughout, is trusting your body, because
Mm,
we've gotten to a point where we don't know. I don't
yep.
know. I know people that don't even know when they're hungry. It's like,
Yep.
wait, you don't even, wow. Okay.
Yep.
So, wow, let's start there. Let's start there. I want you to trust your body. I want you to listen to your body. And then I want you to trust your body. Because
Mm.
if your body's saying one thing and you don't do it, there's no trust there. Your body doesn't trust you. You don't trust your body. And you've got this, little war happening in your body. No wonder you feel like crap all the time. So,
Ooh, this one's a hard
yeah,
one, especially with my
it is.
overexercisers who
Oh,
tank
yeah.
their adrenals and their hormones and
Yeah.
don't want to give it up because it's this fear that they're going to slide back into their worst fear of whatever that looks like, weight gain,
Yeah.
and it's like, but we're perpetuating the cycle. We need to let your body heal, but there's no trust. We don't understand what that means. So we just
Yeah.
grasp the thing that we know, quotation, works and that we have control
Hmm.
over. And, we
Mm.
fear, I mean, I'm sure it all comes down to control, right? We fear that loss of control and what's
Yeah.
going to happen. And then sometimes when you release that control, whether it be with working out or whatever, stuff does start happening not positively, like we'll just use weight gain, or maybe symptoms get
Yeah.
worse, and it's not always a bad thing. Your body
Hmm.
sometimes needs to recalibrate. But then suddenly, when that one little thing happens, like I'm sure your clients, it's we want to grasp back. See, it doesn't work. See,
Yeah.
I control here. And it
Yeah.
brings us back into that low vibration.
Well, and weight is a big thing because I used to run energetic weight loss programs. It was called Release. And I actually wrote a book about it. It's called Love Yourself Slimmer. And so much of it
Mm.
comes back to how we feel about ourselves. And like if I'm not thin, then no one will love me. Like there's
Yep.
so
So
much we
much.
could dig into. I mean, that is a whole can of
Yeah.
worms we could go down. And a lot of it, I mean, really and truly, a lot of, not all, but a lot of the root cause is that kind of like, no one loves me. I'm not worth loving. I'm
Yep.
I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I'm stupid. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, I can't do it. What happens if I don't do this? I mean, there's just so much wounding. And I'm pointing at my heart chakra because so much of it is like our
Yes.
younger self is just like trying so hard to please everyone or trying to be the best because mommy will love me if I'm the best. And there's so much that needs to be forgiven and released. Forgiven, like forgive yourself. Okay. I'm not
Yep.
even talking about anything else. And that healing work that needs to happen for so much of this.
Oh yeah. I feel
So
like we
much.
could record an entire hour-long podcast episode. Maybe I'm gonna have to have you back. Okay.
Let's schedule that because we could do it. It is really, yeah, it's so fascinating.
It is. And
It
people,
is.
I've, again, maybe it's just that I've transitioned a lot with my company over the last 5 years and who I've called in, but it's people don't want to believe that that's the problem. They
Yeah.
don't
It's not
want,
sexy.
it's not sexy at all. It's way more fun to talk about the macros and the parasites and the other things, but it's like,
Yeah.
and until they see that change,
Hmm.
then then they believe it, and it's hard because
Yeah.
you have to have that belief first, but
Yeah.
it's easy to
Yeah.
not feel that way.
And it's like I can tell you to trust your body. And you're like, well, how do you trust? Well, you trust. I mean, it's just like my guys tell me that all the time. I'm like, well, how do I trust deeper? You trust. And I'm like, well, that was super helpful. Thanks. I
Uh,
mean, yeah, thanks a
I've been
lot.
there. I have literally been there when I'm like, I love myself and I trust myself. Wrong. But
Yeah.
I
No, you
didn't
don't.
know. I didn't know. And
Yeah.
just trust. And I remember like energetically flipping off a coach at one point
Oh
because they're
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just release, just trust. And everything
Yeah.
was
Just
like
let it
in
go.
flames. And
I
I'm like,
know.
I'm trying and it's
Yeah. I know.
getting worse.
And they're
Give me the
like,
answer.
aha, now we're on to something.
So I
Oh
get it. If
yeah.
you're listening and you're like, nope,
Yeah.
I was there too at some point.
Yeah. Oh, we all have been there. We all have been there. I want to punch my mentor in the face sometimes. Shut up.
Yep.
Just shut up.
Yep. Yep. I feel it. I'm
You
sure
don't know as I'm crying.
they're like, I do know. You just don't see it yet.
I
You know,
do.
women would just want to rush the process. That's a whole nother thing
But
too.
we
It's
sure
like,
do.
you
Ugh.
it's like you're on the right path. And they're like, walking through flames and they're like, don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But
You're a phoenix in the ashes.
for Phoenix. Yeah. Thank you.
That's what the spiritual community would say.
True. True. I've heard that. I'm like, I don't feel like a freaking Phoenix right
I'm
now.
on fire.
I'm on fire. Just keep walking through the flames of life. Okay. All right. I'll trust the process.
Ah,
But anyway, I gotta have you back, girlfriend. But for now,
yes.
let's wrap it
Yes.
up. People, where can they find you? Where can they connect, learn more about your work?
Well, I've got a website, which I think will be in the show notes, right? So
Yep.
it's carolinenixon.co. And I'm on all the platforms. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Substack, YouTube. So
Nice.
I'm everywhere. Yeah.
Love
And
it.
I offer, so really and truly, I have three different ways you can work with me. I've got digital products on my site that are very specific, very cost effective. Those are amazing. And then I have a mastermind that's a 12-month mastermind because you need that. We need the 12 months. It's a whole process. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It starts when you start. It's like a rolling mastermind. It's
Yeah.
all body, it's group body healing. It's great. And then I do one-on-one
Love it.
packages. And they do start at 3 months because you really do need that length of time to get into it. You just do. And they start at 3 months. So it depends on, I channel for everybody who reaches out. And I'm like, no, this looks like it's 4 months, or, depending on if the person, where they meet me in the process, it can be faster. So,
Totally. Love that.
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, I will put her information down in the show notes. You guys can go check her out. And for the meantime, thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you for having this. It's been so fun. I love
Yeah.
it.
Great, great combo. Thank you, listeners. Always appreciate you guys being here. And we will catch you guys on the next show. Thanks, Caroline.
Bye.